I got to do this. I know we're short on time. Technical difficulties. And I know we stand between you and possibly getting out to the game, so we're going to move through this as quickly as we can while giving it the due diligence it deserves. One of the things I really like about sports is that it brings people together with a common cause. You know, cheering for the Leafs, cheering for the Raptors. You know, people from all walks of life, different countries, men, women. You know, we rally around sports teams. You know, we kind of put our differences aside and we work together in, you know, in pursuit of a common goal. And one of the reasons why I like Zero Trust is because it's a similar thing. If we can get people rallying around this, working together with some common context, I think we do a lot better in terms of securing our organizations against the bad guys, because the bad guys, whether they be inside of our organizations or outside of our organizations, are working really well together, and we need to be working closer together in order to be able to combat them. So I wanted to start off with why Zero Trust is so important, and for those the folks who are in the industry, you know a lot of this. We're spending an awful lot of money, and yet 2/3 of all organizations are reported that they're getting breached. And of those 2/3, a large percentage of that is getting into the customer data, the credit cards, the information, and companies are getting breached multiple times. So whatever we're doing with our $137 billion, it's not having the impact that we want it to have. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the world has changed around us. The notion of a castle and moat as a perimeter no longer exists, and that's because of cloud, the Internet of Things, DevOps, containers. You know, it's such a more complex environment out there for you to protect, so therefore it's a much more difficult task. And we've got example after examples of organizations that are, you know, breaches and data losses are in the tens and even hundreds of millions of data records. So something has to be done. And that's where Zero Trust security comes in. So what is it? It's a framework to safeguard our applications, the processes, and the data, protecting against malicious insiders as well as external hackers. And those external hackers are very well organized and very well funded. So it's really, really important that we safeguard this among all. And beyond Zero Trust goes back to Beyond Corp and the Google initiative back from 2010 when they got hacked. A nation state actually attacked Google, so they needed a way in which to better safeguard their organization and all of their remote workers, and actually implemented Zero Trust such that all of their employees globally can access their network without the use of VPNs. It was embraced and developed by Forrester. John Kindervag is considered to be the father of Zero Trust. He continues his work today at Palo Alto Networks as their CTO, but he's still a very strong Zero Trust advocate. It's embraced by the industry as the new standard for security. So anyone who was down at RSA just this past March saw Zero Trust everywhere. And you know, whether or not they were really truly Zero Trust organizations, Zero Trust solutions, everybody's talking Zero Trust. And the important thing is prevention. As opposed to spending a lot of the money that we're doing on detection and remediation, how about if we protected ourselves against it such that we could spend less time, less focus, less energy on those pursuits? It's been described as a move in the right direction to fight cyber criminals, and it's also a journey. So it's not a buy and forget, it's not a one and done, it is an ongoing journey to help protect your organization. And the key principles, first and foremost, is never trust, always verify. And that's really hard for Canadians because we trust people. We want to trust people. We're nice people. Everybody's nice. Like, let's trust everybody. No, we can no longer trust people only because there are people out there that would seek to take advantage of that trust. It assumes that bad actors are already in our organization. So now what do we do? It says that anyone attempting to access a resource must be authorized and authenticated first. And in some cases, even authorizing and authenticated multiple times, because not all data is created equal. You want to limit movement inside of the organization such that those people who could be in might not be able to get to the data that they're looking for, credit cards, customer data. We need to reduce our attack surface. We need to create a micro-segmentation and least privilege model. And we need, most importantly, to learn and adapt. Because they're learning and adapt. The bad guys are using AI. They're learning quicker than we are, so we need to be able to be responsive. What Zero Trust is not, it's not a solution. It's not delivered by any single vendor, and that includes my own. It's not a silver bullet, right? It's not say, well, we're Zero Trust, we're good, because you can never let your defenses down. It's not just hype, and it's not something to be dismissed. And there's a lot of momentum. 71% of organizations say they're at least talking about it, looking at it to varying degrees of activity. But Zero Trust is very real. Forrester, who's one of the leading advocates of Zero Trust out in the marketplace, have identified 7 areas of Zero Trust. And I'm actually not going to go through this, but suffice it to say, you are probably doing a lot of this anyways. You're doing certain areas inside of your organizations and probably do it very well. But what Zero Trust is it gives us a dialogue and something in which we can all talk about to say, these are the things that we all agree make up a stronger security posture. And if we have covered these areas, we'll be in far better shape than if we're not. And Forrester's 5 steps for Zero Trust: identify the total attack surface, map the data flows, construct perimeters in a microsegmentation strategy, monitor and analyze, and finally automate and orchestrate. And that's key, because you want to reduce the person involvement in there. You want to wherever add to the workflow. You want to have the automation and orchestration in place. The leading authority from Forrester is a gentleman by the name of Dr. Chase Cunningham. I've leveraged a lot of his work. I don't claim to be smart enough to have come up with this myself, but smarter people than I, including Chase, have put together this. And Chase is always available to go into more detail, and Centrify has used his services on many an occasion. So I'll throw it out there. You know, what is your Zero Trust strategy? Well, that's what you're here to maybe learn a little bit about. And there's a number of vendors here tonight who are going to help, as well as a panel of experts, including RBC, who's on a Zero Trust journey and are one of the leaders in this area. So I'm going to turn this over to my esteemed colleague, Tony Goulding, to talk a little bit about what Centrify, the role we play in Zero Trust.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.